Hey, it's Cheryl Guthrie, certified personal trainer at the Still-Amish Athletic Club. Some of you have been asking for a band workout, and so I know not everybody has a band at home, but a lot of you do, and they are super simple or super cheap to pick up from somewhere. So if you happen to be out getting groceries, you can swing by and pick one up at Target or Dick's. Anyhow, the colors that are generally found are green, blue, and red. But sometimes places have them in different colors. What you're looking for is the thickness. So the green is the lightest, and it's pretty thin. And then red is medium, which is a little thicker. Blue is even thicker. So if you're looking at them and they're not the same colors as what we have here at the club, you can tell what level they are by just how thick and wide they are. So, if you have the ability to buy a couple of them, it's not a bad idea to have one that's a little lighter and one's a little heavier. I'm going to show different ones for different things today. I'm going to do a pretty quick workout. You can add to it. You can tack this on to another workout. If I'm doing one of my strength muscle blast videos and you don't have dumbbells, go ahead and incorporate some of the different things that I'm doing here in those muscle blast classes. I'm going to begin with the heavier one, which I might regret. I'm going to put it under my feet and do a bit of side stepping. So my focus right now is my hip abductors, the gluteus medius. It's lateral work, which most of us don't get enough of. And I'm going to go for 1 minute intervals. So here we go. If you have a band, join me, because I hate to work out by myself. Here it is. I'm going side to side. Now when I do this, my shoulders are back. Anytime I have the opportunity to have my shoulders up and back, take advantage of it. We spend so much time forward here that if you come up, it just feels better. I immediately feel taller, lengthened. I'm just going side to side right now. If you have a lighter band and you can take a bigger step, go for it. The heavier bands kind of limit how wide you can go. If you've got some space in your house, you can start making multiple steps. So I'm going to go 2 steps, one direction, 2 steps. Now you might note, if you're looking at me in the video, that all of a sudden my steps got smaller. Yeah, it hurts. Actually, it doesn't hurt. It just got a little harder. So I'm going side to side, back and forth, and back and forth. So right now, I'm feeling a lot of my outer hip. I'm going side to side again, and that was my minute. Now I'm going to stay right here, and I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. This is a kick back. So my shoulders again drop back, and I'm going to start to kick back. This is, if you think about kind of a dog scraping its feet in the dirt or just kind of kicking something off the back of your shoe, that's what I'm doing. It is not a big movement. I'm not doing a lot of big movement. In fact, if I do, I'll lose my band. But I'm right here kicking back. I have switched my focus from gluteus medius to gluteus maximus, your booty. And my booty is feeling like it's getting some work here. So I'm still tall, I'm still lengthened, I'm looking ahead, kicking back, thinking that maybe a minute is kind of a long time when you're doing fun things like this, back and forth. So even though I'm going to be doing just 1 minute of different things, you can tack these on and go and do multiple sets. I'm just going to be doing 1 set of everything, but that doesn't mean that you don't need to do more. So because I'm kind of in a booty focus right now, I'm going to move over and I'm going to come onto the floor. There's a couple ways to do this. So one way is to put my band around the feet, around the shoe, and hold on to the handles. So this is one way I'm going to kick back. Again, if you have a thicker band, that's going to limit how much you're able to kick back. The foot is flexed. I'm going to show you a different way to do it on the next foot, and it's probably a little bit safer because right now, if my foot slipped and that band came off, I'd be giving myself a smack right in the butt. So when I show you the other way, it's going to give you a little bit more range. But I'm going to show you both ways so that you can choose what works best for you. I'm kicking back. Again, my focus here is glutes. I've got long through the crown of the head. I'm bracing through my abs. I'm just about done with this leg, and it's talking to me. But my other hip is talking too because it's supporting. So when I change it, and I'm going to flip this around so you can see better, I'm actually going to put my foot in, and I know for some of you, that may not be super comfortable either, but that's why I'm showing you both options. So what this does, one, it gives me a little bit more room to be able to move from, but it also prevents the likelihood of that band coming off my foot and smacking me back and forth. Oh yeah. It's much better to work the booty than to sit on it. So hopefully if you're having to sit a fair amount, you can take some breaks here and do some of these exercises. What I'm going to show you is a pretty short workout. You can do multiple sets. I'd recommend, if you're doing this, to be doing at least 3 sets of everything that I'm doing. I'm just going to walk you through 1 set of each. But hey, if 1's good, 3 is better in this case. Keep going. Push, push. These are all things that kids can do, so if you've got kids at home, this is great. So I'm moving away from doing lower body work, and I'm going to move it into upper body work. So this is where I'm actually going to stand on 1, 2. I'm going to push back into my 1 minute frame. Actually, I'm going to step a bit farther. Let me step even farther here. And I'm going to row it. So this is pulling back, pulling back. You got to kind of find that place where you have some resistance to pull and pull in, back and forth, back. I'm going to show you another option. I don't have a place here where I can hook my band onto something that isn't going to move, but if you've got a door handle or something that you can hook the band to, then you're able to actually do both at the same time. And when I'm talking about 3 rounds to this workout, you can go through, I'll have about 6 exercises, you do them all, you come back through from the beginning and do them all again. So right here, I'm working the back of my shoulder. I'm doing a little bit of bicep. I'm getting into the upper back. Because I'm kind of leaning forward, I'm actually supporting some work here on my other hip, and my core is braced. So there's still a lot going on. I'm going to add a little pulse here at the end. In, in. You just want to step wherever you have the ability to have some resistance. Pull, 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 in. Keep going, squeezing, back and forth and back and forth. I'm looking ahead. I'm thinking about the muscle that I'm creating and keeping strong, because even though these are not dumbbells, they are resistant bands and they are challenging your muscles, providing some resistance to keep you strong. Well, you know what? It does help to have your timer actually start. So I have no idea how long that was, but it felt like a heck of a lot longer than 1 minute. So I'm going to be lopsided here. This is also, again, so if you have something that you can hook it on, or if you're in quarantine with somebody else and you got 2 bands, you can hook these bands together. A lot of you know we've done this in class. Hook them together and pull back and forth. Kind of fun, as long as nobody lets go. But because I'm doing this by myself and I don't have something that I can hook onto, I'm going to come and I'm going to make sure I did that side. So here we go. This time I'm checking by putting my timer on. And pull. Both in and back. Because I'm hinging forward, it's safer to have one hand on a leg to provide you with some support because I'm leaning over, and doing this without that puts a little bit more strain on the low back. So perhaps you're by a chair, you could put your hand on a chair or the table and do this. If not, I would just place it on a leg and keep my forward flexion supported. I'm focusing on the upper back, I'm pulling in. Again, depending on how much band resistance you have here is going to mean how tight the resistance is going to feel. So you're able to modify that back and forth. Pull and pull. I've got about 10 seconds here, so I'm going to pick it up a little bit And I can even add some rotation in and out, pulling that back, and pull and pull. So now I'm going to switch to a little bit lighter band to the medium one. Again, it's all with what you have. So triceps, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do triceps. The first one is by taking the band and grabbing it behind, right in here. I can either stand on it or I can go into an extension up and down. So I'm holding it. You can give yourself less resistance or you can give yourself more by however you are holding on to that band. The same principles that we do with dumbbells applies also to the resistant bands. I'm keeping my arm close to the ear, pressing up and down. My arm isn't way out here, it's close in. I'm thinking about pushing into the floor. I'm squeezing my glutes because form is everything, and if I have everything else grounded, I'm able to focus entirely on the muscle group that I want. Back and forth. So when I switch to the other arm, I'm actually going to show you a different exercise. So this is the overhead press. You could do that on both sides. If perhaps you wanted to do a tricep kickback, I'm going to hold my hand right in front. I'm going to lean forward because, again, it gives me more range, and I'm going to kick it out. Kick, kick. So with both of these exercises, I'm focused on my triceps. Back of the arm, it's that area that everybody says, oh, it's just kind of flopping there. Well, summer is coming, and this is a great way to keep those muscles strong. Kick it, kick it. For people who perhaps is not comfortable to have your shoulders up and over your head, this can be a better option. So you choose whichever one you prefer, or maybe you want double duty and you're going to do both. Lots of options. The main thing is just to continue to keep the muscles working back and forth. So far we've done back work, we've done leg glute work, we've now done triceps. I'm going to switch this to biceps now. And with the bicep, I'm going to put one foot in. Depending on if you've got a lighter band, you might want both feet in. It's really going to be up to you. If I have one foot in, it gives me a little bit better ability to come up and down. Lift, same principles apply. My elbows stay next to my body. My shoulders stay back, up and down. You're controlled. If you want to play with it a little bit, it's quick on the way up, it's slow on the way down. Quick on the way up, slow on the way down. You do want to make sure that that band is placed under the middle of the foot, because if it's under your toes, they snap off, and I have personal experience that they don't feel good when they hit you in the face. And I'm going to add a little pulse to this, halfway, still keeping the shoulders back. I'm squeezing my glutes, press and press, little ones right there. Keep it going, in and in and in. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Oh, and release. Again, I'm only showing you one set, but I would encourage you to go through this and do multiple sets. So another thing I'm going to do right now is take it into more of a mid-back work. I'm going to hold it about, maybe, 8 inches apart. And I'm going to squeeze my scapula. So I'm pulling in, back and forth, squeeze, squeeze, in and in. Not a big movement, but actually it's quite an important one. These are your posture muscles. They're the muscles that, if you've got a lot of neck pain and shoulder pain, they're ones we often are done in physical therapy, back and forth. Everybody needs to be strengthened in the upper back and do a little more stretching in the front. So this is part of that by strengthening the upper back. In and in. I'm just squeezing it apart. Surprisingly, it's pretty effective, and it doesn't take too long before you feel this. This is also a way that I can do some rotator cuff work that I'll be showing you here in a minute. So with some rotator cuff work, I might hold it out here and then take it right in there and kick it out, in, back, and So those are different ways to do that. Let me see here, what else? We have overhead coming in. Again, I can do this by just coming behind, back, and this is a great range of movement through the shoulders. I'm lifting, focusing on my lats. This is also one that it's not always comfortable for people to bring their arms behind. The range of motion that this involves is not always going to work for everyone. So another way I can do that is to reach up and to come right down to the sternum. So those of you who are familiar with the lat pull down, essentially that is what I'm doing right now. I'm reaching up and back. You could also do one in front, right up in here, and one to the back. So maybe I want to go forward and back and front and back and release. So again, we've worked the back, we've worked the legs, we've worked the tricep, we've worked the bicep. I'm going to give you another option on the back by coming down onto the mat and taking that right here with my band underneath the feet, and I'm sitting tall. I'm going to actually pop the knees up a little bit, and I'm going to open the legs wide. So depending on how much resistance you want is going to make the difference whether my feet are together or my feet are apart. I'm pulling back and back and back. Squeeze, squeeze. Sitting tall. This could be done in a chair. Keep focusing and squeezing. Back and forth. In and in and keep going. Sitting tall, shoulders are back. Breathing, inhale in and exhale out. Squeeze and squeeze. I'm feeling the work. I hope that you are too, and that you can see that even with a simple tubing, there's an awful lot of exercises that we can still do. Back and forth, in, out, in, out. Pull and pull, in. And I'm also going to show you a way to stretch with these bands that is really an additional way to get more stretching in. I'm thinking I forgot to put my timer on because that took more than 1 minute, and sure enough. So I'm going to show you a stretch here. Come all the way down onto your back, pull up one leg, toes out. So the band gives me the ability to push into something, and I can play a little bit with how much I press as I come back here. I'm providing some resistance. I've taken it across the midline, and I'm able to get more assisted stretching with this band. If you have a yoga strap, that works well. If you've got a belt or even a towel, these stretches can be done with anything. Coming back in the middle, pulling it back in. You're working with your body, whether your leg is straight or bent, doesn't matter. Inhale in. As I exhale, I'm going to push up against that band to give me more resistance. So this is a simple way to get when you're kind of tight, when people are feeling a little bit stressed or perhaps sitting a lot more. These are really important stretches to add into your everyday life. Remember, we have yoga and Pilates class on our Facebook that you can look at any time, and Aria has posted some other stretches as well. Pick up the other leg. I'm going to place it in here. Safety-wise, the band is always around the middle of the foot. If it's up by the toes, they really do slip off and they really don't feel very good. Toes out. Inhale in. And again, this just gives me something to push into and kind of press out against to give me more assisted stretching. I drive into the tailbone, I'm lengthening. Right now, I'm getting a little bit of inner thigh stretch. Inhale, as I bring the leg back up, this is my hamstrings that I should feel, and as I take it over, it changes into the IT, your iliotibial band, which is a very tight area on most people. Inhale in, exhale out, come back to center, time. Inhale and exhale. Coming right back in. Hold it. Bend at the knees and carefully remove that band. Those of you who are hardcore, I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do this for chest. So for chest, I can do this in my push-ups. And I can come in on my hands here and come in, and as I do those push-ups, basically I'm coming in and out. Actually, I need to go a little bit tighter with this. But it gives me some resistance to come up against, in and out. So that's something that can provide you with a little bit more. You can also work the chest. Again, I can do this in a chair. I'm pressing out with my arms to come into a chest press, in and out, pushing. If you find that you need to shorten the band to make it harder, you're going to reach through the handles, grabbing in and out. Press, I can make it more of a fly. I can make it into a press. So these are all exercises. We've given you chest, back, some shoulder, some tricep, some biceps, some inner and outer thigh, as well as some stretching. So I hope this gives you some ideas that you can use just for quick little workouts. Again, multiple sets starting from the beginning and running through these exercises is a great idea. Or when you do the muscle blast and you don't have dumbbells, but you do have a band, just incorporate these exercises into the different muscle groups. Hope that helps, gives you some great ideas. The main thing is keep moving.